Chris Lee and Blake Lovell of Southeastern 14 here for our selection show special. Blake, we have overdosed on basketball. I've overdosed on bracketology. We are about 30 minutes away from the banner being unveiled. I have done research on the brackets. We've got scrolling across the bottom who we think is in from the SEC and where. We'll answer questions. We'll talk hoops. We'll do a little bit of everything, and mostly we'll take listeners' questions. But Blake, I'm fired up. Selection Sunday, one of my favorite days of the year, and I cannot wait to see what the committee brings us.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I think at this point you're going to see four. I mean, I'm very curious to kind of see how. I was actually about to say, I think we've now gotten to the point where I think you're going to have four SEC teams that are probably seeded at least 6 or higher. And remember the conversation we had not too long ago, wondering if the majority of these teams, in terms of maybe 5 or more teams, could be in that 8 to 11 range. And now I think you've got Alabama. You've got Tennessee, which I know people don't agree with. But Tennessee's still going to be a top 4 seed, in my opinion. Chris will get to the bracketology in a second. I think A&M has moved their way up to a 5. Now, again, I'm saying all this without even looking at Chris's projections, which we're going to get to shortly. And I think Kentucky is probably at worst maybe a 6-ish if they can maybe get that last 6 spot, something like
I've got
that.
a 7 today.
Well, no, it's fine. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's a possibility. But I think Missouri is also a team that can get a 6. So there's your number of I think maybe 4 teams. I think one of those maybe slides to a 7, but otherwise it's going to be very interesting. So, yeah, I mean it's set up a lot better for the SEC entering this selection show than we thought it would have a month ago. I mean it's much different now. Even if you still got some of those teams that are going to be, I don't know, you got what, Arkansas, Auburn, Mississippi State. They'll all be 8 to, or maybe 8, 9 to 11. But yeah, I mean, I think the setup is a lot better than it was. So
I've got the whole thing mapped out. 1 to 68, how I've got the teams ranked, the order which I got them in, who I've got out. Be happy to share that at some point if people care. But Blake, you just got back from Bridgestone Arena where you watched just about all the SEC tournament. You saw Alabama pull off a very impressive win over Texas A&M today.
yeah, Alabama looked pretty good. They're not bad, and
They're not
I
bad.
mean they're pretty good. I mean, look, this Alabama team. I know. Here it is. Look at that, just on cue here. Yeah, I mean, look, it was a home game for Alabama. Let's call it what it is. And by the way, thanks for everyone hopping in here to join us. I know selection show doesn't start for another 30 minutes, but we got a good group in here so far. And we will get to your comments, questions, all of that. If you're just joining in for the first time, don't worry, we see them back here. It just we may start talking about some other stuff, but we'll kind of put a little note on them and get back to them eventually. But yeah, I mean, Alabama was pretty good. Again, I mean, they had 12 threes and shot 33%, but I thought just the 3 guys, Quinterly, Brandon Miller, Charles Bediako were fantastic. I mean, they really were. And even Noah Clowney wound up having a pretty good game. I think he finished with 9 and 11. Rylan Griffin hit some big shots. A&M just kept trying to make that run, but Alabama just wouldn't let it happen. So, yeah, I mean, an impressive finish to the tournament for an Alabama team that everybody thought coming in. Not everybody, but a lot of people thought, man, are they just kind of limping into this thing? Hadn't played well in a couple weeks necessarily, and who knows? Anything can happen in this tournament. But they basically, put the foot down and took care of business, and that's what you want to see from what I think is going to be the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. Now, I think they should be. I think they should be the number 1 overall seed ahead of, Kansas or Houston. I think that's, in my opinion, I think they're the number 1 overall seed based on what they've done. And I said that I thought that was the case even before we got to this point for Alabama. So this certainly doesn't change my mind a bit. So yeah, they've got a lot of pieces, man. And no knock on A&M. How much can you really knock a team for losing a game that way? And 3 games in 3 days. I think that's why, again, conference
Alabama.
Well, yeah, in conference tournaments, that's just the way it works. So, yeah, I mean, sometimes you just get to a point, and when you're playing the number 1 team in the country, it's going to happen. So, I didn't really take a whole lot of concern away for A&M after that game. But the bigger thought was just the fact that Alabama's pretty good. So
Alabama is pretty good. I still think Kansas is probably the number one overall seed. I didn't really look in on that much today, but Alabama's no worse than 2. I didn't see Memphis did finish off Houston, or it's going to, it appears. So I don't know if that'll affect anything. Houston will still be a 1, but any thought of Houston climbing over Bama at any point would be gone at that point. I mean, they probably decided it already, but Alabama's going to be a 1. We got our seed scrolling across the bottom, what we think is going to happen based on the committee selection criteria. And I'm very interested to see how they sort out the bubble, Blake. This was not an easy one to sort out. You got teams outside that are close. You got the last, I don't know how many teams are flawed as usual. It was tough to sort out, but I sure put a lot of time into it.
that I can confirm. Chris did put a lot of time into this bracketology, folks. If you don't think Chris does his homework, sitting beside him at the SEC tournament for a couple of days before he had to travel out west, this man, I don't even know what to say. I almost had to move away from him because I kept seeing that spreadsheet, and I said, I got to get away from the spreadsheet. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and that's why I think, you look at some of this stuff, and it's not easy because everyone is projecting based on what you think the committee will do. And as I say, Chris, I feel like every year there's always a different tune sometimes about what we value the most this year versus maybe some previous years. And I think that's okay because I think your selection process has to evolve. It has to continue to evolve. And I'm okay if they're saying, hey, maybe this became more of an emphasis this year than it has in recent years. I'm okay with that. But I know that that's going to not necessarily sit well with a lot of people, but we'll see. I mean, I'm very curious to see kind of what happens here because, like I said, the setup is a lot. I mean, look, let's call it what it is. The SEC. I know everybody's pointing out a lot of different stuff. So
sorry, I took one up to you.
All right, Chris. Here's the rule. Okay,
I'm going to give you the control of the screen. Sorry.
I will take care of the comments. You take care of the spreadsheets. Okay, because I'm getting nauseous already thinking about that spreadsheet again. But I don't know. So hold on, Scott. You're saying that CBS has leaked the bracket. Well, let me just tell you. Remember the year the bracket? Remember the year the bracket got leaked? What year was that? How long ago was that, guys? It wasn't that long ago. A few years ago. Holy cow! What a complete debacle that was. Man, what a debacle. So I don't even remember what I was saying. I'm too excited to think about, what I even was saying at the time. I'm just ready to get this thing on the road. I get nervous, Chris. I do get nervous. Like I get nauseous when I look at your screen, but like I get nervous when I think about the selection show. Like I have no dog in the hunt. I mean, well, let's all be honest here. I've got one. But I think there's some kind of what is it? I get a bonus if they make the Sweet 16. I think that's how the new contract says. But yeah, man, I want good matchups for the SEC teams because that allows us to talk about SEC basketball longer. So give me the good matchups.
Somebody had a qualm with me putting Kansas as the number one overall seed ahead of Vandy. I mean, ahead of Alabama.
Well, Chris, hold on a second.
Kansas is 17-7 in quad one.
Chris, hold on a second. We got to pull up something on the screen here. So I don't know if Scott was joking. Hold on a second. No, hold on. I think this is. Yeah, this looks like. All right, guys, hold on. I'm checking into this whole leaking of the bracket thing. It looks like to me, this is something they did for everybody. It looks like this is. I'm not going to pull up on the screen because I don't want CBS coming after us or something. But yeah, because it looks like what they've done here, and you guys are. I'm seeing people tagging me on Twitter with this. It has Vanderbilt in the tournament, okay. But let me tell you, what they've also done is it looks like they've pre-written basically tournament capsules for all the bubble teams, if that makes sense, Chris. So Wisconsin has one, Clemson has one, all these other teams have one. So I'm going to assume all those teams aren't getting in. So that's my guess. But again, I could be proven wrong here. But I just wanted to make sure. So sorry, please continue.
Remember the year they told South Carolina it was in and it was not?
What year was that? Was that recent?
Was it 2015-ish? I believe it was the year before Carolina went to the Final Four.
Oh, maybe it was. Well, hold on a second, Chris. Let's just for a second here. Let's
You're
acknowledge this
checking
comment.
on this leaked bracket thing?
No, let's acknowledge this comment
Oh.
here from Sarah. I mean, you see why I'm acknowledging this. I mean, let's be clear. Listen, guys, if you want your comment on the screen 100%, first of all, you can join the It Just Means More tier with Justin here. What is that? I think $3.99 a month. Basically, it's just a donation to the channel, allows us to make more videos for you. Or you can say something about Dennis Gates positive, and you will find some screen time here in this live stream for the next hour and a half. So just keep that in mind. We absolutely pander to my Dennis Gates love. So no worries.
We had a lot of fun watching Missouri and Nashville, seeing that team up close. I mean, Demoy Hodge and Kobe Brown were just monsters in that Tennessee game.
Demoy Hodge, I am telling you right now, I thought he was easily one of the most entertaining players there. Like that guy just he is so entertaining to watch. It wasn't just the crazy three he hit, just pure entertainment value. Give me Demoy Hodge, and if you want me to do the pure entertainment value team, Chris, Demoy Hodge is in the starting five. I don't know who else is with him, but like he's in the starting five. That guy is he's something. So, yeah, just a lot of fun. So, I know we got a lot of Missouri fans coming in, so we've replaced the Arkansas fans this year, Chris, with the Missouri fans. No, I'm joking, guys. Don't lose your minds. I know we'll get the Arkansas fans in here too, but like last year, I feel like it was all Arkansas when we did our selection show live stream. Now
in Tennessee,
thanks to my client Dennis Gates, we've got the Mizzou crew are coming back in, and so we've got a good group of people here. Okay, now see, here's what you have to do. This is a very important comment here. I agree. The man's he's got a nice smile. I mean, come on. Now that should get you incentives right there in your contract just for having a good smile. So, all right, Chris, anything, get back to the bracketology. Give us some news and notes.
Let's start at the top. Kansas and Alabama for the 1 seed. I think it depends on what the committee is going to weigh. Of the resume computers, KPI had Kansas at 2, ESPN Strength of Resume had Kansas at 1, and it was the reverse for Alabama. Now, Alabama has since beaten Texas A&M and won the conference tournament. I don't know if they'll update those or not. I don't know if that'll make a difference. I don't know if they'll make that change based on that. Alabama now 11-5 in quad 1. Kansas 11-7. Alabama 7-0. I'm sorry, quad 1. Kansas 17-7. Alabama 11-5. Quad 2. Kansas 4-0. Alabama 7-0. So quad 1 and 2. Kansas 21-7. Alabama 18-5. By winning percentage, Alabama's better there. And then Kansas was 3-0 in each of quad 3 and quad 4, while Alabama was 7-0 in quad 3 and 3-0 in quad 4. Kansas did lose 7 times overall. But, of course, it was the Big 12 where every team was a bubble teamer in the tournament, so there's that. Kansas played the number 1 strength of schedule overall. Alabama was 9 heading to that A&M game. So, look, it's you could make the case for Alabama as the overall number 1 now after today, I think. I don't know if the committee will or not, but it's close.
I think the number 1.
And I think honestly, now that I look at it a little bit more, I think honestly I would go Bama.
I think it's Bama.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that
pretty strongly. I feel pretty strongly about that because again, I was on, and I don't do this as much as you do, but like I was in the thought that they were there even before this. So I think this only helps them a little bit because what our friend Rocco Miller, who is doing some great work, by the way, now for Field to 68 as well. Remember what he used to talk about? Talked about the double and how the committee values that, the regular season title and the conference tournament title. And Bama got both of those. And so that's significant as compared to what? Kansas didn't get that. Houston didn't get that. So I think if you have similar resumes, that's a big boost for Bama, in my opinion. So,
all right, I'm going to give you my seed lines, and I'll let you in the community react quickly.
Yeah.
1s, Alabama, Kansas, Houston, Purdue. By the way, Purdue has just finished off Penn State.
I have no reaction. That makes sense.
2s, Texas, UCLA, Arizona, Gonzaga.
I guess Baylor's the only team that would be in that conversation elsewhere. I don't see anyone else.
Baylor's tough to know what to do.
That's the only team that I would even put in that conversation, but I don't hate that either.
Yeah. Okay. 3s, Marquette, Baylor, Kansas State, Connecticut.
All right.
4s, San Diego State, Tennessee, Duke, Xavier.
San Diego State, Duke, Tennessee, Xavier. By the way, David asked the question, if Tennessee loses in round 1, the computer will still advance them to the Sweet 16, right?
Right.
Sorry, Tennessee fans. You know how everyone thinks about the computers. Tennessee's a 4.
They dropped a 4 in the net, right?
I have no idea. I stopped looking at the net. I'm done. I was done with the net after the regular season. I don't care about it anymore. Tennessee's a 4. I'm okay with. I know people think they should be lower, but overall body of work, I'm okay
body of
with
work. They beat Kansas, Texas, and Alabama.
Well,
kind of hard to drop that kind of team below a 4 line.
Here's the problem if you're Tennessee. I think there's a decent chance you see Ricky P and Iona in the first round if you're the 4. I would hope you don't get that. That's all I'll say. Please continue, Chris.
5s, Texas A&M, Virginia, Indiana, Miami.
Texas A&M, Virginia. Who else?
Indiana.
I like A&M as a 5. I told you I thought that's where they were going to be, and I think that's where they will wind up, in my opinion.
6s, St. Mary's, TCU, Missouri, Iowa State.
I think we're on board. We've been kind of the same in terms of pushing Missouri as a 6. I think the consensus has been a 7 if you look at bracket matrix, but we have just pointed out we just think Missouri's resume is just better than just looking at the predictive metrics and those kind of things. So, hold on a second, Chris, before we continue. Justin with the $2 super chat here. By the way, if you're in here, you can leave us a super chat. That gives us a few bucks to donate to the channel to help us make more videos for you guys. You netted $69, nice, by betting against me. Which game? You told me you won $169 by betting against me in the Vandy, Kentucky game. So what are you talking about here? I mean, come on, please. You didn't bet against me today because I picked Alabama, and yesterday I picked Alabama and Texas A&M. So please, Justin. All right, please continue, Chris.
7s, Northwestern, Kentucky, Michigan State, Creighton.
Okay, Kentucky is a 7. All right.
Creighton's a tricky team, by the way.
Well, all right.
8s, West Virginia, Memphis, Florida Atlantic, Penn State. I don't know if I don't think it's probably too late to move Memphis up a seed line for beating Houston, isn't it?
I don't think they're moving up. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I can't imagine that's going to bump them up just by winning that game, but it could. You never know. I don't think it will.
See, it says West Virginia, Memphis, Florida Atlantic, Penn State for the 8s. 9s, Maryland, Boise State, Illinois, Arkansas.
So in your bracket, Arkansas is paired against 2. They're the last 9. Is that correct?
The last 9. So that would mean the 8 could be Penn State.
So who's the first 8 that you have?
No, I'm sorry, not Penn State. The first 8 I have is West Virginia. Now that would be
Arkansas,
I like
West
that.
Virginia.
I'm here for that.
I would take that. I'm going to pull something up in a second when you finish the bracket. I made some opponents list yesterday that I'm going to show you guys. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, if you were to match, just for curiosity, in case people wonder, if I had this right, if you were to match the worst or best 8 against the worst 9th, and so on, this is how it would go in those 8-9 games. West Virginia, Arkansas, Memphis, Illinois, Florida Atlantic, Boise State, Penn State, Maryland. You can't do that.
You can't do that, Chris.
Teams. So you have to flip somebody. Maybe you could flip, give Maryland, Florida Atlantic, and give Penn State, Boise State. How about that?
All right, let's continue.
10s, Auburn, Iowa, USC, Utah State.
Auburn, Iowa, USC, Utah State. All right, so Auburn's the first 10. Who's the last 7?
That would be Creighton. Don't think I'd want that one.
I don't hate that for Auburn. All right, continue.
Okay, 11s that don't go to Dayton, NC State and Utah State. And then your Dayton games, I have being
don't do
Dayton
it, Chris.
teams. It would
don't
be Wisconsin.
Do it, Chris.
What?
Don't do it. I know who you have in there. Don't say it. You're going to put it in the universe, and everybody's going to get mad at you. when they don't
All
make
right.
it.
Here it is. Wisconsin, Providence, Vanderbilt, and Rutgers. So I would presume you would have, I would go Wisconsin, Vandy, Providence, and Rutgers.
Wisconsin,
How I'd
Vandy,
match them up.
Providence. That's how you would order them?
No.
All right.
I ordered them, and this is really going to blow people's minds. I have it Wisconsin, Providence, Vandy, Rutgers. I had Wisconsin as the best team going to Dayton. Wisconsin only played 7 games against quad 3 and 4. Lost one of them. That was in quad 3. I don't think people realize they won 13 games against quads 1 and 2, which was more than most of the teams in front of them. Just saying.
You've got Wisconsin significantly higher than everyone else. You've got Vanderbilt in. You're not the only one that has Vanderbilt in, but I think that number has gotten smaller. Look, as of right now, bracket matrix has been updated right before the selection show. This is the last update, okay? Last update. Vanderbilt to start the day was in, I think, 12 or 13 brackets. They're down to 4. Clemson is still in the bracket. Let me just tell you right now, I don't know
That's
how
ridiculous.
I don't think Clemson has any case at all.
Clemson lost 2 games in quad 4 and 2 games in quad 3, and it won 7 combined games in quad 2 and 1. How is that an in the tournament team? I don't get that.
As I like to push my SEC bias here, I'm going to put all the negative Wisconsin stuff on the screen. So just for fun. All right. So who's the teams you've got left out? Give me a couple teams here real quick.
This is who I had left out in order. Oklahoma State, Arizona State, Pitt, Nevada, North Carolina. And then I went Oregon, Michigan, Clemson, but I didn't really do a lot of research on those last couple of days. I think Clemson being in is absurd.
All right. Well, I like Pitt's resume better than most people. I think Arizona State is right there on the cut line. I could be convinced one way or the other on them. I actually, for some reason, think Pitt has a better resume than people think. Don't ask me why. I've looked at the numbers. That's just what I think. Rutgers, I do think will get in. Nevada, I think Vanderbilt has a better resume than Nevada. So if we're talking about that, just my honest opinion, I think Vanderbilt has a better resume than Clemson. All the others, just in all honesty, I think you can make a case against Vanderbilt or for Vanderbilt based on a lot of the other teams. But I think Pitt is an NCAA tournament team. That's the one team that has grown on me in comparing all these bubble resumes. So I think Mississippi State's going to move out. They may be in Dayton, but I think they could slide into not being there. But I actually think I'll say this. I've not been high on the ACC this year, but when I really looked at Pitt and NC State, I like their resumes more than I thought I would. And so those are the two teams for me. I just get a sense they're going to slide in. I don't know where. I think they'll both be in Dayton if that happens, but I think it's certainly possible. But, man, we'll see. So there you go.
Yeah, Pitt beat Virginia, Northwestern, Miami, and NC State. Those are the only 4 teams that it beat that I think are getting in. It had 17 games in quads 3 and 4.
Yeah.
It was 7 and 9 in quads 1 and 2. By comparison, Vanderbilt was in quads 1 and 2, 10 and 11, and Wisconsin was 11 and 13.
All right. Sam thinks North Carolina's going to get in. Sam, I'm not going to say there's a 0% chance because I think there's always a chance when you're North Carolina. But we'll see. We will see. 5 minutes here, guys. 5-minute warning. Now, we know that you guys remember the year that they released the field in alphabetical order? We talk about debacles. Who came up with that idea? I mean, alphabetical. I was sitting there. My brain was like, wait a minute. Who comes next in the A's? A-E-I-O-U. Boy, I'm glad we're not doing that anymore. Yeah, like there's a lot of interesting storylines here to see. All right, I'm going to pull up something real quick, Chris. We've got 5 minutes here. I'm going to pull up something I did last night because what else do you do on a Saturday night except, it's March, What else do you do other than look at the possible opponents for SEC teams and look at about 48 million bracketology projections to see who are the most common opponents you could see if you're an SEC team? So here's what I had, Chris, is the most likely projected opponents. I put 5 for each team, okay? I don't think Alabama's going to have a lot of worry no matter who it is. Tennessee, I know this one's got Sam nervous. I put Iona in there. Now, remember, Toledo's not the automatic. I had to do this before those bids were handed out. So Toledo and Yale did not get in. That should be Kent State and Princeton. All right, so replace Toledo and Yale with Kent State and Princeton. Iona, Louisiana, Kent State, Princeton, Furman. There's a couple of those matchups I wouldn't love if I were Tennessee right now. Furman I wouldn't love. Iona I wouldn't love. Texas A&M, again, and I kind of looked at this as them as the 5 or the top 6 playing the winner of a play-in, which in this scenario would be Pitt or Arizona State. I have them as Charleston, VCU, or Roberts. Those are all, again, I think not, they're not fun matchups based on some of the styles of those teams. Kentucky, Providence, NC State, Arizona State. Again, Arizona State, NC State would be the play-in. Boise State could also be there. USC, a straight-up 6-11. That's kind of what I was projecting there. Missouri, the opponents I had listed, USC, Utah State, Penn State, which I've heard from Missouri fans. They want no part of a potential Missouri-Penn State game, and I don't blame you right now. I would not want that either. Rutgers or Oklahoma State. And once again, there's another play-in scenario that kind of looking at projections. If Missouri is a 6, they get the winner of an 11 play-in game. Arkansas, Illinois, Iowa, Michigan State, West Virginia, Memphis. I'm going to be honest. If you're Arkansas, I don't know how many of those you love because, I mean, that's kind of where they are, right, Chris? 8-9 type range. Those are the kind of teams you get. Auburn, Iowa, Florida Atlantic, Michigan State, Creighton, Maryland. I don't hate all of those for Auburn. I think there's a couple matchups there. I said I don't hate the Creighton one. Iowa, I feel like that's another one maybe. FAU would be interesting just because of what they've accomplished this year. And then I had Mississippi State, which I think here's what I'm hoping for, Chris. I'd love to see Mississippi State and Duke as the 6-11 with Mississippi State already in the field, not going to Dayton, maybe playing a 6 in Duke, something like that perhaps. And then I just kind of basically randomly picked the other 4 teams just if Mississippi State was in Dayton. And as of last night, that was kind of the projection. But we'll see. So there's a bunch of, possible opponents you could see in that scenario, but man, we're about to find out. So
yeah, I'm nervous on Wisconsin, but man, I look at what the committee says it values and it hits everything.
Well, you wouldn't be the only one that has them in. There's a couple other people that do. So they're kind of on that Vanderbilt.
I think 4 off the bubble on the inside is probably a little generous. I'll tell you another team, Providence. Providence had 11 of its 21 wins in quad 4 and another 4 in quad 3. Only won 6 games in the first 2 quads. Only teams that beat its significance were Connecticut, Marquette, Creighton. I mean, Vandy might actually be better than both those teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll find out. So we will find out. Yeah, we'll see. So, all right, guys, 2-minute warning. Show's about to begin. I think we know who the number 1 seeds are going to be, but you will see our instant reaction. If I get up and walk away, that means that, I'm not happy about a draw for someone. If you see me pick up the phone and call someone, it's probably not Dennis Gates, but it just depends on what the draw is. You never know. I could have some inside information for the matchup. So we'll see.
Someone asking about Utah State. Utah State has beaten the best 3 wins were Boise State, Nevada, Oral Roberts. All those were at home. But the computers, Utah State. Yeah, the computers love Utah State. Just across the board. The resumes and the predictives. I don't get it, but they're so high. I have a hard time thinking Utah State gets left out.
I am not as high on the Mountain West this year as I usually am. And so
the computers love the Mountain West, and I don't really get it, but those are some of the criteria that the committee is going to use, and so you've got to pay that some respect.
Shout out, new member here to the It Just Means More tier. We appreciate that. $3.99 a month. All that does is you guys are just basically giving us $3.99 a month as a donation for what we do here for Chris's spreadsheet, basically. That just funds Chris's spreadsheet. So if you want to do that, join the It Just Means More tier. You can do that here on the channel in the membership tab or wherever it's at. Maybe it gives you the option at the bottom. We don't see exactly what you guys see. So, yeah, you can do that, and we appreciate you being a new member, and we appreciate anyone that becomes a new member because that helps us make more videos for you guys. And yes, it is the best moment of the sports year. I agree. Selection Sunday. The nerves. Oh, all right, Chris. I've got the TV queued up here. We're turning it on mute. So let's all be honest. Chris is usually at least 15 minutes behind everyone else. We don't know if it's going to be the case now, though, because he's in a different location. So he could actually be ahead of us. And
I'm
so
in
you
Mountain
guys
West
will probably,
territory.
yeah. So like you could maybe get a little bit of the West bump in terms of the feed. But we will find out because, yes, everyone reacts instantly, and some of us get behind. Like, one of us will be behind on the TV, and we're like, "Oh yeah, I didn't see that happen." And yeah. So, oh boy, here we go.
I'm on
Like, look,
commercial here.
we're gonna get comment. You're on commercial. All right, so Chris is definitely behind
But
because
I'm way behind.
you're
Okay.
way behind because Greg Gumbel's already talking here. And again, I have it on mute, so I have no idea what these guys are saying. So keep that in
I
mind.
was 2 commercials behind.
Just keep that in mind.
So
I have
I'm
no
way
idea what these
behind.
people are saying right now. So, all right, Chris, let me get this out on social media. You can stall for a minute if you'd like.
Well, what I'm going to do is they're announcing these teams when somebody gets in. I'm going to note the seating as I can. I just want to see where the committee saw it compared to the way that I sized it up. I also want to see who gets in that I didn't have in, because that means somebody that I had in is not going to be in. And just want to see, because sometimes that can tell you early what the committee is thinking, just even the first few lines.
Yeah. Everyone take a deep breath. Remember, don't forget to breathe. Always during the selection show, rule number 1, breathe. Rule number 2, it's the net's fault. Rule number 3, the net. I'm sorry. I'm starting.
It's never what your
towards,
team did or didn't do.
Hey,
It's the net's fault.
I'm starting to lean more towards Vanderbilt fans now when you look at this net. All right, so here we have it official. Alabama, Chris, the number 1 overall seed in the tournament here. And let me take my notes as we're going along. That's
So
probably
we
not a
did
bad
get that.
idea. Alabama and Birmingham, the number 1 overall seed. And yes, I completely agree with that. I think the Tide have earned it based on what they've done. So Alabama. Justin, I'm going to save your comment. We'll get back to you losing $100 later. Okay, so Alabama is in the South. They are the 1 playing Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. Don't worry, they're not playing the Aggies.
What?
Or SEMO. So, what do you mean what?
Okay, yeah, I had them as a 4. I thought I had that team a little higher.
These are the 2 I had there. All right, so we know there's not going to be an SEC team here next because Alabama's the 1. So, all right, remember, guys, we'll see some of your comments. Keep them coming in. We'll log them, but I've got to look at the screen to make sure we get our bracket looked at. Chris, if you look down and see any comments, Maryland, ooh, that's an interesting 8 for Alabama. Interesting 8 for the Crimson Tide. 21-12. Oh, Maryland and West Virginia. Oh boy. Now that's a fun 8-9 game right there. Yeah, I agree, Nate. Bama and West Virginia would be a fun game. Clay, Dickie V just went ballistic on the net. Yeah, I don't blame him. All right, the 5, Chris. We've got San Diego State. Chris, you go with me reading these out because I assume I'm ahead of you.
Yeah, you're well ahead of me.
Ooh, Charleston, San Diego State's a fun 5-12
So that'd be the
game.
12.
Yeah. All right. How many of you guys are already picking Charleston to beat San Diego State? Raise your hands.
Okay, I had San Diego State as the last 4. So maybe that is a little bit of an indicator.
Harrison family, we appreciate you joining.
I'm sorry, I had San Diego State as a first 4. Maybe that means the
Hold on.
Mountain West isn't going to get a ton of love here.
All right. We'll get back to you, Harrison family. I see that. We appreciate you joining. This means more to your Virginia and Furman. How many of you guys are picking Furman to beat Virginia? I know there are already people filling in Furman in their bracket to beat Virginia. I'm sorry. This is not a knock on Virginia fans, but I know it's already happening. So, interesting. Very interesting. So, I think that's a good draw for Alabama. I think Alabama getting Virginia as a 4 is a great draw. Tremendous draw for Alabama. Creighton is the 6, Chris. Where do we have Creighton?
Had them as a 7, but I said they were interesting because of the Kalkbrenner injury. So
that's injuries may factor into this thing. So Wouldn't be surprised. All right, Creighton is the 6. They're in Denver. They're going to play NC State. So NC State is in. No first four for NC State. They're in the tournament. I'm not shocked by that. I said earlier, I thought
No.
NC State had a good case. I like their resume more than most, the ACCs. So, all right, Baylor's the 3, Chris. Baylor, number 3 seed. They'll play UC Santa Barbara. Oh, the Gauchos. The Gauchos winning the Big West. Watched that last night. Good game between Fullerton and the Gauchos. Yeah, go Gauchos. Oh, Missouri is a 7. I don't like it. I don't like it, folks. I think Missouri got screwed here. They're in Sacramento,
Missouri
too.
got screwed.
Man, you think Dennis is going to pay for the flight? Utah State. Okay, Missouri fans, I think at least if you're the 7, remember, I like this so far. Let's see who the 2 is. I like this. You guys are ahead of me. I can tell. I see you guys putting some of this. Who is the 2? Oh, boy. Arizona is the 2, Chris.
Well, I mean, it's not like you're thrilled for any 2.
Well, I don't know that I love that one. Arizona's got Princeton. I don't think Princeton. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you, Missouri fans. If you want my initial take here on this draw, I like the first round matchup. I thought that was the best of the group. You saw that on my possible opponents list was Utah State. I don't love the draw with Arizona in the second round. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't love that. Arizona's a team that we saw them. I mean, we've seen what they're capable of, and when they're good, they're good. What Arizona does, they have a lot of size.
No, that will be a fun.
Well, no, it's a fun matchup stylistically.
Saturday or Sunday game because they can both score like crazy.
Stylistically, I think it's a fun game, but I'd be lying if I said I love the draw. But again, if you're a 7, you probably don't love the draw anywhere. I think Missouri should have been a 6, and that's not just me with the Dennis Gates talk, guys. I really think they should have been a 6 seed. Yeah. So
I'm right there with you. The predictive computers, the strength of resume computers had Missouri. Let's see. Where did Missouri go? Is it 29 in KPI and a 15 in strength of resume? And remember, Missouri did not lose a game outside of quad 1.
Yeah. I just don't love it. I think Arizona's the kind of team. Again, they mesh well in terms of how they want to play, but that's a really efficient offensive team, Chris. And I mean, for a Missouri team that can struggle defensively at times, especially on the rotations, we saw some of that against Alabama. Now, again, does tired legs play a factor in that? Of course it does. But I kind of wish the tournament committee would have understood we need to do a little more build-up until the Dennis Gates reveal, because I need a little more time to process the bracket. But look, Arizona is top 15 in the country in 3-point percentage and 2-point percentage. They shoot 57% from 2, 38% from 3. They can score in a variety of ways. As we said, they've got good size. I mean, they start 6'3", 6'3", 6'6", 6'11", 7 foot. Yeah. But, I mean, that's where, again, if you're the 6 and 7 line, it can be a huge difference, especially when you're paired with one of those 2 seeds. And in Arizona, I mean, they won the Pac-12 tournament. So I think that's a really good team. And so, I mean, again, you're going to get that, though, if you're the 7. But, I mean, overall for Alabama, an Alabama-Arizona potential matchup, I think that would be fascinating because you talk about style. Yeah, I don't know. That's a stylistic matchup. Would be a lot of fun. I mean, look, Baylor, I don't think you discount Baylor either in a possible 2-3 Arizona-Baylor scenario. So, yeah, Alabama-Baylor. How about that? But, yeah, that's a pretty tough region.
Bracket's going to be so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean.
Creighton, Baylor, Missouri, Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough draw, I think, I think Alabama has a nice path at the top, except for maybe that potential. I think the second game I find the most worrisome for Alabama versus the next one. I think Virginia or San Diego State, they would match up really well against, or any of the other combination. But West Virginia, Maryland and West Virginia, I don't know. that may be the toughest game that they have there. So, yeah, it's an interesting thing there with that. So, I mean, I don't know, guys. It's the Missouri draw. I know a lot of people are at like, I know I sound like but this is what you want, right? Like this is what you want. You want me to tell you that I think they're gonna, have a tough time getting out of there because usually that works out for you Missouri fans. So, yeah, we'll see. But all right, so what do you got, Chris, on this bracket here?
Well, I'm
South.
trying to look at this and say, is there anything the committee's telling us? The Mountain
Well,
West is
Missouri's
going to
a
be one that's
7.
interesting.
I mean, that
Well,
tells
yes,
me a
and I
little something.
disagree with that, but I'm looking at bigger things. Okay, the Big 12, I thought West Virginia was an 8. It got a 9. And I thought Baylor was a 3, but some people thought it maybe had a case as a 2, and it did. So Baylor got a 3. I don't know if we extrapolate from that the Big 12 got underrated a hair. I mean, we're
Oh,
probably
David.
not.
David, that's awesome.
San Diego State getting a 5 was a little surprising. I thought maybe a 4 based on where the computers had it.
All right, Chris,
Utah
we're on to the
State getting
Midwest.
in didn't shock me, but
On to the West. Midwest, excuse me. Houston, number 1 overall seed in the Midwest. Zach, I don't know. It's an interesting question. I don't think it's going to impact Vandy, but you never know.
I'm still on commercial. So who did Houston get?
My goodness, Chris, we got to do something. We don't know yet, but they're playing in Birmingham too. So they're in Birmingham. I was thinking about going to Birmingham, but I mean that's an interesting.
See, 2 number 1 seeds.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not as thrilling though. So
that's true.
When you have the 2 number 1s there, because you don't necessarily get the upsets you come to see. So Northern Kentucky, Houston and Northern Kentucky. Darren Horn will have that. He'll have them ready to go. He might not be able to win, but he'll have them ready. All right, the 8-9 in Birmingham. Whew. Iowa's an 8. Is that high, or is that where we thought? Or is that low?
Oh, that's high.
I think all right, so here we go. It's all starting to make sense. Auburn. Ooh, so Auburn's Birmingham.
A 9?
Auburn's in Birmingham is a 9.
Oh, my goodness.
That is a tremendous draw for Auburn.
Now you're going to Birmingham, aren't you?
Oh, I'm headed to Auburn. I'm headed to, Birmingham.
If I'm Iowa, I'm pissed about that.
Alabama and Auburn both in Birmingham. Holy cow. How about that?
That's a victory for the scalpers.
That is absolutely a nice victory. Miami's the 5 here, Chris.
When's the last time they played in Birmingham?
Holy cow. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But that just, I mean, Auburn is a 9. I think that was higher than people thought, right?
I had Auburn as a 10.
Yeah, I thought Auburn would be a 10.
Although not that much.
But Auburn and Iowa, that makes sense, right? What's Pearl's roots, or what is that? Why can't I think of that? That's why I put that as the top one on my projection list. Because I thought we could see that. So Indiana's going to Miami and Drake, Chris, 5-12. Indiana the 4. These are in Albany. Indiana against Kent State. I like Miami coming out of here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's not a.
I like Miami in the Sweet 16. Maybe an Auburn-Miami rematch. I don't know if Auburn wants that. Iowa State's
that's in Albany?
6. Yeah. Iowa State's the 6.
I think that's where I had Iowa State. Yes.
Mississippi State. Last 4 in. They are playing Pitt. Mississippi State and Pitt in Dayton.
State Pitt got in.
Pitt.
That's not good if you're Vandy.
No, Vandy's not in. I'm sorry. Sorry, Vanderbilt fans. That just sealed it. If Mississippi State was in the last 4 in, Vandy's not going to be there. But I am going to have to turn the sound on after this, though, because I want to hear what they say about Vandy, because they're going to get asked the question, I think. But Mississippi State in Dayton, huh? Xavier's the 3. By the way, these are all in Greensboro, Chris, as well. So Kennesaw State.
Xavier got a 3?
Kennesaw State. All right, so we're starting to learn that the committee doesn't love the SEC, except for maybe Auburn. I think Auburn got a little bit of a boost here.
Xavier got a 3. That's high.
Where did you have them?
4. But the last 4.
All right. Yeah. I
Now,
mean,
who did Xavier
Kennesaw
draw?
State. Kennesaw State.
Watch out
Texas.
for that one.
Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? A&M got a 7?
What?
Oh my god!
Oh, okay, it's official. The NCAA just hates
They're
A&M.
done, man. Oh my god!
That is nuts. What?
Against Penn State, they're playing one of the hottest teams in the country.
Penn State got an 11?
Oh my god!
Oh man. Okay, I'm thinking the committee loves it some ACC. If Pitt got in,
oh my! Are you kidding me? Texas is the 2, Chris. So an A&M Texas matchup.
Oh my goodness!
They did this because they wanted A&M and Texas and Colgate.
They did A&M dirty.
A&M got screwed, man.
A&M got the
oh my
complete
god!
screw job.
A&M absolutely got screwed. I'm sorry. That is a brutal, brutal deal for A&M. They got hosed. There's no way Vanderbilt's getting in. If anyone thought there was any chance, there's not a hope in the world. It's not good for Arkansas either, folks, by the way. If you're an Arkansas fan, close your eyes.
And it's not good for Wisconsin or Rutgers.
Well, yeah. they're probably done.
Who did Texas get as the 15?
The ACC getting the nod. Are you serious?
This
right
sucks.
Now?
The ACC was a bad league.
Texas A&M as a 7. Holy cow. Oh my!
That is mind blowing.
And I look all the
A&M had a case as a 4, Blake, as a 4.
Oh. A&M. So all the non-A&M fans are coming at me in the Twitter comments right now because I said the NCAA hates A&M. There is no other answer. But I'm sorry, guys. If you're actually looking at this, there's no way they're a 7 seed in the NCAA tournament. And don't tell me just about one little tiny element of what and play a better non-conference schedule. Are we serious? Like, boy. Jeff, I don't know the answer to this question. I have no idea how Auburn's in Birmingham, but they are, and they'll take it. Arkansas might be a 10. You may be right about that.
Colgate.
Yeah, look, Sam brings up a good point here. What's Tennessee going to be? I mean, what could Tennessee be after this trend so far? Tennessee could be a 5. So, I mean, look, Aaron, I'm with you. It may have been a troll to put A&M as a 7.
That is
Penn
unbelievable.
And Texas as the 2. Holy cow, man.
That is one of the most absurd things I've ever seen the NCAA do.
Man, A&M just got hosed. Oh, look at the Twitter. Look at the Twitter toughs coming in about how that's absolutely where they belonged. Have these people ever watched basketball before? Or are they just coming out to say this? So, holy cow. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe they don't like Buzz. I don't know. How can you not like Buzz? Buzz loves basketball. So, look, I mean, Adam brings up a good point, and you know, guys, we kind of played this up a bit, but yes, the non-conference matters. Absolutely, it does.
Yeah,
you're 100% correct. It sure does. But I still don't think it supported a 7 seed. I completely agree. It absolutely matters, but I don't think that was enough to put him as a 7. Just my opinion. So, just my opinion. So, Brian's comment here on Twitter. I mean, I hate A&M, and even I can say they got hosed. That's the kind of insight I want, Brian. I appreciate that.
Like, if you're Buzz Williams when you woke up this morning, I'm guessing that getting a 7 and getting Texas in the second round was not on your bingo card.
Man, I have no idea how they're a 7 seed. I could have said maybe they're 7 seed about a month ago. Now I don't know about that. So, holy cow. I don't even know what to say right now. I'm like,
commercial.
Yes, but I'm still stunned. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I have no idea what to say. Look, David's got a good point here. Clemson's probably going to be a 9. Clemson may be the number 1 overall seed in the next region. At this rate, Clemson the number 1 overall seed. And
everybody should lose it. Well, remember they did this last year. They gave Duke a 2 and Tennessee a 3 when there was no way you could look at the data and justify that.
Adam, I wasn't hating on you, by the way. I was just we were having fun with that. But yes, you're right. You're 100% right. I get it.
North Carolina got an 8 last year when I thought it was a 9 or a 10. I mean, and that one panned out, obviously, but all right.
I don't know.
Merrimack deserves to be in the tournament. He's right about that, by the way.
Sam, are we sure Arkansas's in? Holy, you want to talk about losing minds if
Ooh.
Arkansas's not in the field. Man. Everybody coming in with the non-conference mattered portion. Okay, so does conference play matter? Does it? Does conference play matter too? I'm half joking with some of you guys. I know some of you are out just to get A&M. I know, Adam, you're not the one. You were making an observation. But there are people on Twitter, which I don't know if you guys know this, but Twitter can sometimes be a little biased. I know none of you guys would do that. I know you couldn't. No, Devin, I completely agree with this. I think they couldn't help themselves. They wanted A&M in Texas as a possible second-round matchup, and they said, we'll slide A&M down to a 7. Hosed. Anyways, let's continue. We'll go back to this bracket in a minute. How many are we through? I feel like we've done the whole bracket here, but we're not. We still got 2 more.
We've done 2. Are the South and the Midwest matched up with one another?
Midwest and West. So whatever the other 2. We're on to the West now. Wait, is Kansas in the West? Yeah, okay. I mean, they're not playing in the okay, yeah. Okay. Sorry. I was making sure I had that right. All right, Kansas is the 1 seed here, Chris. In the West.
So the West will play the Midwest.
I think that's what I said. I don't remember. Howard. Arkansas is an 8.
Oh my goodness. Whoa.
Against Illinois. Hold on, I'm still processing this. Arkansas against Illinois.
So Arkansas is an 8 and A&M's a 7. How do you get there?
I can't justify it. I'm sorry, Arkansas fans. I can't justify that.
Yeah.
I can't justify how those teams are a seed line apart.
This thing's going off the rails.
St. Mary's is a 5. I can't justify that. So,
I don't think I can either.
VCU's the 12. So, you know what? Here's what they did again, right? Let's pair the 2 teams that, together so one of them will lose. UConn is a 4. Man, Arkansas is an 8.
Wow.
Guys, I'm just going to be honest with you. The SEC's path to the second weekend so far is not looking great. Iona is UConn and Iona. That's an interesting one. Oh, boy. Yeah. Look, I know you guys have fun with this, but yeah, I don't know. Good job, Harrison family. TCU's a 6. I don't remember where TCU was at all.
That's where I had TCU.
Yeah, Vandy fans, I'm sorry, but you can probably stop. Arizona State, Nevada.
Oh, are you kidding?
Nevada got in. I am not.
And Arizona State got in.
Upset. This is where
that's a screw
I think both of them were iffy. But I think Nevada was more iffy. So, SEC fans, you can start getting upset. Vanderbilt fans,
my goodness.
You got a better resume than Nevada, in my opinion. But
it's not even close.
Zaga's the 3. You had them.
That's 3 teams I wouldn't have put in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Vandy fans, you can just turn off your TV right now.
Grand Canyon. So the Fighting Bryce Drews against Mark Few. Yeah, Vandy fans, is baseball? Maybe baseball. They're not. I'm sorry, but they're not getting it. Committee's not happy with our league right now. Northwestern is a 7. Was that right, Chris?
I guess they're close.
Man, 7 or 8. I thought 7 or 8. That's fine.
So who did TCU get?
I don't know, man. Arizona State or Nevada? I'm still thinking about this whole
committee. I don't know what they were doing.
Boise State's the 10 against Northwestern. Ooh, man.
I'm way behind.
So Missouri what did Missouri get again? I can't even remember. They got a 7, right? Missouri and A&M got the same seed.
The committee has done an awful job.
So to me, the committee with Arkansas is simply they're weighing the metrics, and they're putting a lot on the Nick Smith thing. But nothing against Arkansas, but they were also the 10th team in the SEC this season.
The committee, I'm guessing the committee has gone bigger on predictive metrics this year than it did in the past.
Well, of course they have. It's all about the predictives, right?
Well, last year it didn't really seem to matter that much.
All right, Chris, I'll let you catch up because we're about 15 minutes ahead of you. I think they've already played the Sweet 16 games.
I think they have.
All right, thoughts on the West here. Honestly, Brett, this is a good question. I'm not sure how A&M and Missouri got the same seed. I wouldn't have been against it if they were both 6s, but both as 7s, absolutely not.
I cannot believe Arizona State, Pitt, and Nevada all got in.
Well, I think I could see the Pitt one. The Nevada one, I think, was the most questionable of the group. But I have nothing against those Wolfpack fans out there who may.
Nevada was 21-10, and it's 2 wins. It's best 3 wins: San Diego State, Boise State, Utah State.
Yeah.
I mean, it lost 2 games in Quad 2. It won 7 games between Quad 1 and it was 7-8 in Quads 1 and 2. I don't know what they were doing this year.
Whew. Yeah, I don't know, man. I am like, I'm still like, I don't know what to say. I don't know. I'm still trying to. You can talk, Chris. I'm still trying to process what I'm about to say. That I don't want to. Yeah,
I just how much homework are these guys doing? This is the second year in a row we just get. It's just one thing after another that is glaring.
Let me just tell you one thing I'm still shocked about. The fact that Alabama and Auburn are both in Birmingham, and Auburn is there as the 9. That is tremendous for Auburn. So at least Auburn got a bump out. If you're looking for someone who's got a good draw, it's Auburn because they're in Birmingham. Now, matchup-wise, I don't think it's a terrible matchup against Iowa. We'll break these matchups down later, but this is our instant reaction here. So, oh, man.
Arizona State is another one I don't really understand.
Here's the thing. To watch Tennessee wind up being I don't know. So, all right. Let me go back and try to find some of you guys' comments here as we're trying to regroup and make sure we got everything updated here. All right. Let's see. Arkansas fans weighing in. Yeah, Arkansas. Remind me again, guys. I didn't write down the cities. I should have. Where's Arkansas playing?
Somewhere out west.
Yeah,
actually, they don't put them.
Remind me. Well, they're in the West region, but remind me where their first round game is because I just forgot to write it down. See where the money goes. Well, A&M and Texas would be a money matchup, but it's also technically. Can you see 2 SEC teams against each other? Let's just go ahead and say Texas and SEC. Come on, they can't do that, right? But no,
I think they can't meet till the second weekend unless you just have so many teams in.
They're not officially an SEC team yet. That's my point. So like,
right? Okay.
Tennessee going to be a 6. I think the SEC is just, and we're not. Look, we know what's going to happen, Chris. It happens every year. There will be non-SEC fans that come in here and watch this, and they'll be trolling and all that. That's fine. It's the internet. This is what you do. But we put our homework in on this to try to give you the most neutral observations we can, and we're able to put our bias aside for some of this when it comes to like. I think A&M is just got screwed. I mean, remember this. Not only is A&M the 7, they're playing Penn State, one of the hottest teams out there. And
all right, get this. I usually do the KPI and the strength of resume, ESPN's BPI strength of resume, and I take those 2 because the committee uses both those, right? And I don't know if they're going to use one higher than the other. KPI had A&M as 13th overall, and strength of resume had A&M as 18. Average that together, that's 16. That's a 4 seed, Blake. They got a 7. A 7.
Yeah, I don't know. So, all right.
So an 8 isn't. Look, we're happy for Arkansas
Guys,
fans, but Arkansas is an 8. I don't get that.
Can
one
I
either.
say something real quick? Here's my only ask for all of you guys. And I know there's a lot of you who don't do that. When you're on Twitter, just set aside the bias for just a half second sometimes, because I think you have to go deeper than just the fact that you don't like a team. And I'm not saying anyone in here does that, Chris. I'm just saying you have to. What is this? What are the regions left, guys? I'm forgetting. I just showed it on the screen. But the East, okay. Purdue.
So Purdue will be your 1 seed there,
Yes.
I guess.
I know you guys, will say that you just this or that. That's all I'm asking. So, is Kentucky in the field? They're out now. Wait, Purdue against the SEMO Howard winner. Well, wait, that's not right. SEMO's already been mentioned, right?
No.
Yes, they have. They were at the top with Alabama, were they not? I thought it was
that's Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
No, they just Chris, they screwed up. It's Fairleigh Dickinson or Texas Southern. They put the wrong one on the screen. They just changed it. Yeah.
Oh, you mean they changed it mid-presentation?
Yes, they put the wrong person on the screen. Memphis is the 8 against Florida Atlantic is the 9. I thought those teams already played each other. Maybe that's another year I'm thinking of.
Memphis or FAU played Ole Miss and got.
And they just showed Florida Atlantic before their seed even came on the screen. Oh my gosh. So, listen, I don't know what you're saying I'm right about, but I appreciate that because it's not very often.
I'm just now learning Purdue is the 1 seed.
Duke is a 5. That's all I need to see, Chris. All I need to see.
Defensible.
I thought they'd be a 6. That's just my opinion. I'm joking, guys. Like, calm down. This is what we do. We're instant reaction. We give you
Duke could have been a 4.
Could they? Really? Duke against Oral Roberts.
I mean, had a pretty good week.
We're going to be rooting for Oral in that one. There's a clip for
Max
you.
Asmus still around. The last time ORU pulled an upset or two.
Number 4 seed, Tennessee, guaranteed. Watch it. Wait for 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 it, Chris. Tennessee, the number 4 seed, against Duke in Orlando. The Vols.
Did they really get the 4?
Yep, they're gonna play Louisiana. Okay. And that was the first team or the second team I may have listed on the opponent pool, so I'm not surprised by that. Good job, bracketologists. You've done good work, except for A&M so far. So, Kentucky's a 6. The Vols and the Wildcats, both in the same part of the bracket. Could we have that as an Elite 8 matchup? I don't like the odds. And Kentucky is going to play who am I thinking of? Providence, guaranteed. Wait for it. Providence. That's why I had Providence listed as the first team in the opponent pool. I knew that was going to happen. Committee loves them some storylines. Kentucky, Providence in Greensboro.
So I'm guessing now Rutgers,
now wait,
Wisconsin.
Duke gets sent to Orlando.
Not getting in.
Good. So they sent Duke away from Greensboro. Okay. Yeah, because that's
Tennessee and Orlando. Yeah, that would be right. Correct.
Kansas State's the 3 for Kentucky.
So where's Kentucky getting sent?
Greensboro.
Okay.
That's probably a good point. I'd rather be the 10 than the 8. That's true. So Arkansas did, I guess, get a worse draw in a sense. So
we got an 11 remaining. So it'll be who gets that last bubble spot.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm in terms of who's getting in that we don't know about already.
For what seed?
I've still got 3 games to go.
Oh, well, I don't know what you're talking about a bubble spot.
I'm saying I'm watching who gets that last 11.
Well, it's Providence, isn't it?
Okay, never mind. Okay, so 6.
Michigan State, USC is the 7-10.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know. I was confused. Marquette's 2, that's the last. We're on the last bracket, right?
We are.
Okay. I can't keep up, man. This is chaos.
So Providence will be your last bubble team.
Marquette's going to play. Who's the 15 I'm not thinking of? No. Vermont. That's it, Vermont.
Ooh.
Don't start picking Vermont yet, folks. Don't start picking them yet. John Becker's done a good job. Don't start picking Vermont just yet. You don't want to ruin your bracket by picking a 15, but it's certainly possible. So, all right. So there you go. The results are in, and I mean, other than everybody on Twitter, it's all the Arkansas fans don't like A&M, and so that's why we think we're perfectly fine with their seeding. Yeah. All right. That's fine, guys. I get it. So, all right, Chris, we've got the bracket. It's official. All right, everyone in the comments, your initial reaction to the bracket, your draw, where your team is. We're going to go with Scrappy Dog first, and he has his own opinion on this. Yeah, how Arkansas got an 8. I mean, as it was just brought up in one of the things, I mean, you almost wanted the 10, right? To stay out of the 8-9 maybe. So Justin stunned, Justin Vandy fan. Arkansas is in Des Moines. Okay, sorry guys. I was trying to figure it out. That's not bad for Arkansas then to go to Des Moines. At least they didn't have to go all the way out west. Yeah. So Nate's a Vandy fan. We got Vandy fans that are not happy. How is Kentucky ahead of Denison?
That's
well, hold on. They're about to reveal the first 4 out or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I thought Nevada was the biggest surprise. That's the one I had listed.
Nevada was a surprise. I
first
didn't
4
think
out, Chris. Here we go. Oklahoma State, Rutgers. Oh my God. Oklahoma State, Rutgers, North Carolina, and Clemson were the first 4 teams left.
They love them some ACC, didn't they?
The ACC just got all
for the second
love.
year in a row. They have really laid it on thick for the ACC.
I have no idea.
Well, okay, here's another reaction. How much? I guess again, conference tournaments don't matter.
Chris, please explain that to me. How is Clemson there? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I don't either. That's absurd. That's not doing your homework.
Gosh.
Okay.
I can't wait for this. The SEC ACC challenge next year. We are going all in on that because
the ACC was the 7th league in KenPom.
They were not. This was not a good league year for the ACC. I thought.
Okay, where was Penn? Okay, here's my takeaway. Okay, conference tournaments for the second year in a row did not matter. It didn't matter what Vandy did.
Of course not.
It didn't matter what A&M did. It didn't matter what Penn State did. Those teams all got seeded lower than what they should have been seeded if the tournaments mattered. So all we play the tournaments for is, at this point, TV and auto bids.
Well, yes, Sam, at least you get to go to Orlando instead of Greensboro.
Wisconsin wasn't even the first 4 out.
I'm not shocked by that. I know you were high on them. I was not. But
yeah, well, I guess a lot of quad 1 wins don't mean anything either.
I'm sorry.
Wisconsin beat Marquette, Maryland, Iowa twice, USC, Penn State twice. That's 7 wins against teams in the field. Nevada beat San Diego State, Boise State, and Utah State. So that's what, a 5, an 8, and 11?
I don't even know. I'm like just. Here's what we're gonna
and back to Missouri's the 7. Missouri's win over Tennessee evidently meant nothing.
No, it didn't.
Kentucky's loss to Vandy meant nothing.
Yeah, it didn't. So
the tournaments didn't matter.
No, I don't disagree with that. No. I don't know. I just talk for a second, Chris. I'm putting something out on Twitter real quick to get some people in here.
I can't believe how much stuff they botched.
All right, continue to expand on that.
Seeding, who they put in, where these teams are playing. I mean, Did guys show up drunk to the meetings? I don't know.
I can't confirm that, Chris. All right, so let's go back through the bracket here a bit. All right, so remember, Alabama's a 1, Tennessee's a 4. I'm gonna forget somebody. I'm just scrolling down my bracket here, folks. Who's the next one, Chris? Kentucky's a 6.
Kentucky's a 6.
Missouri's a 7. A&M's a
7.
7. Arkansas's an 8. Auburn's a 9. Mississippi State 11, and Dayton. So, there you have it. There you have it. So, man, I guess people did not get my sarcasm on Twitter when I tweeted out that the committee loves the SEC, and people are saying no, they didn't. Guys, I'm aware they did not love the SEC. I should not tweet without a sarcastic thing, perhaps. Yeah. This. So, Chris, our friend Hunter Johnson, noted Alabama fan, he tweeted on February the 7th that he will riot if Auburn plays in Birmingham as an 8 seed. And you better believe that thing is being quoted right now, and Hunter is all in on it. So, well, Hunter, I apologize, but Auburn is going to be in Birmingham
Bruce
as a 9
Pearl
seed.
in Iowa.
As a 9 seed. So, all right, guys, send in your questions, comments. We have a lot of them, so I'm trying to find them all in the sea of comments here, but yeah.
I mean, look, Blake, I said the committee did a bad job with teams in. I had my first 4 out. I had Oklahoma State, Arizona State, Pitt, Nevada, and these were close. It's just, what do you want to take? I looked at it, said what I thought was loudest. The committee saw it differently. It's not who I would have taken, but it's not like they put in Clemson, although apparently that was
apparently they were close. So, all right, let's get into some quick stuff here. We'll start looking at some of the matchups. I mean, come on, guys. Anyone wants to get upset? We're having fun with this, but I know the selection chair, Chris Reynolds, is speaking right now. So if anyone can give us some highlights of what he said, and please be truthful in the comments. I don't have my volume on. I can't listen to it unless Chris wants to listen to it right now while I talk, or vice versa. I would like to know what they say. I really would. So if anyone can give me a Cliff Notes version, that would be fantastic, so we can continue to do this live stream. So, all right. Thoughts on Missouri, Utah State. So I said I thought Utah State would be one of the better draws for Missouri based on looking at where the seeding was. And I just feel like Missouri, you look at the style they play, Utah State, current coach, former UMBC head coach Ryan Odom. So he has, some nice stuff in the tournament. He certainly has a nice tournament resume based on that. But they're a very good offensive team. We were looking up their numbers last night as I was doing this, trying to find the opponents and what would be the best, worst, all that. They're very efficient on offense everywhere. Like, honestly, anywhere you look, they're efficient offensively. They shoot threes. They make threes. They get 60. Let's see. So they get 35.1% of their points from the 3-point line, and they shoot at 38.5% from 3. Now, I think if you're Missouri, you look at it in terms of defensively. How do you defend? They also have, they've got a little size too. So that's a team that I can't say I would just absolutely love the matchup if I'm Missouri, but I do think it's better than some of the alternatives than being Texas A&M and getting Penn State, in my opinion. So I like it a little better for Missouri, but that is a team. It's a pretty good, efficient Mountain West type team, and we've seen some of those teams do some damage before. So, so CBS just gave the committee props. Well, that's good. It's good to know. Jay Wright, I see speaking now. I don't know what Jay asked, but he probably doesn't need to go too all in, because otherwise he may get back into coaching and they may not give his team a nice seeding. Thoughts on the Arkansas draw? Well, they're an 8 seed against Illinois, which I don't think is the easy matchup, and then they got to have to play Kansas after that. So I can't say I love the Hogs' path to an Elite 8 for the 3rd straight year, but stranger things have happened, I suppose. Look, this Arkansas team's just different too, so it's hard to really know what you're going to get maybe out of that. And so I just think the draw itself, as some people said earlier, I would have probably, if you're Arkansas, would have rather than be a 10. than an 8 or a 9. Not saying it would have been that
Arkansas,
much easier.
Illinois will be fun.
Should be. Should be. So, yeah, this is what I was thinking. I thought Missouri probably didn't want to see a Rutgers. That was the number or the name I said was Rutgers. I said I don't think they want to see a Rutgers type team. So yeah. Boy, poor Hunter just getting trolled on Twitter right now for his Auburn and Birmingham. Poor Hunter. It's not like Hunter doesn't do his fair share of trolling. So yeah, glad Missouri didn't draw Penn State or have to play Texas in round 2. That they did get a break there, but I don't love the Arizona matchup in all honesty. But yeah, honestly, I can't make a lot of sense of Auburn being in Birmingham either. So they're showing Nevada the last team in, Oklahoma State the first team out. They're comparing the resumes on the screen right now. I would love to know what they're saying about this. So if you guys can fill me in on that, on the Nevada case, I'm very curious. So yeah, congratulations, Sam. Missouri coming to Sacramento. Yeah, you'll get to see a game. That's good. Pretty awesome.
Nevada was 7-8 in quads 1 and 2. How is that a tournament team?
Mississippi State plays the Tuesday game in the first 4, by the way. All right. How should you feel about the Cajuns? I'm going to be honest with you. The Cajuns is, I mean, look, for Tennessee, I'm going to keep calling them what I always call them. Sam, and that's like what have I said? They're the ultimate wild card. Why are the Cajuns not pulling up on? I had their numbers yesterday. Chris, can you find me
Tennessee
Louisiana?
Duke in round 2. That could be.
Why are they not on KenPom? What would they be listed at? Why are they not on? Oh, there they are. Okay. So the Cajuns, yeah, Bob Marlin's still the coach there.
I'll give you the rankings, Blake. They are 99 BPI, 92 KenPom, 99 Sagarin.
Okay, so they played Texas. Their best opponent they played this season. They lost 100-72. They're not a great defensive team. They're a pretty efficient offensive team. Don't have a lot of size. Get most of their points from either 2 or the free throw line. Don't shoot free throws well. Don't defend the 3 well. That's about all I see just on looking at the stats alone, Sam. But we will obviously go deeper into that when we do our preview for the game itself. So, all right. I have completely lost my spot in the comments. So let me try to regain that quickly, Chris. Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to stall here, but I've lost my spot in the comments. Yeah, there's a good point. I didn't think about that. Houston has to play Auburn and Birmingham. Boy, they got the shaft, didn't they?
Ooh.
To have to do that. So that we were looking at the Auburn side of things, but now when you actually look at it from Houston's standpoint, thanks a lot for being the number 1 seed and having to play Auburn. How far away is that from there? So, yeah, I don't know. So, surprise Sweet 16 pick. Oh boy, I have no idea. Chris, if you have any insight, please add as I continue to look through the bracket here.
No, I've just got this thing scribbled down, and I haven't done any more than that.
All right, let me just scroll real quickly, Harrison family. New member of the It Just Means More tier. We appreciate that. Surprise Sweet 16 pick. I mean, Auburn's not a bad one. I'm going to be honest with you. Auburn's not a terrible choice. I don't hate their draw because of location and just the matchups, but it's not
VCU?
TCU is pretty good, yeah.
I said VCU, but I think TCU is a better pick.
My bad. Mississippi State, I know they got to win that game against Pitt, but I don't hate the matchup against Iowa State or Xavier. I'm going to be honest with you down there, too, and that's an SEC slant. But, I mean, look, if you want my Sweet 16 pick based on the draw, like, I think Penn State could beat A&M and Texas. Like, I think it's certainly possible. They're playing some good basketball. So, all right, there's just some initial ones. I need to look at the bracket. I think Iona or VCU, yeah, what Chris said, I could see that being a region of chaos, perhaps. But, again, we have to dive more into these matchups. That's just some initial thoughts there. Oh, boy. Okay, let me continue looking down. Yeah, Bernice, yes, I have watched Nevada play. I don't. That was not the debate. The debate was the resume, and I think, I mean, Chris can tell you, I was pushing Steve Alford for
Yeah.
an interesting spot earlier this season, but yeah, I mean, they may be flying under the radar, and you can have a chip on your shoulder now if you're Nevada coming into this thing, because you can, you can say people like us didn't think they should be in, but that it was more comparing resumes. It's not that I didn't think Nevada was good. I went on a podcast 3 weeks ago, and someone asked me for a team that was under the radar and to keep an eye on. I said, "Oh, I think it's Nevada. I think Nevada is one of those teams. I think I put someone else in there." But no, I've seen them. I thought resume stacked up necessarily was not there based on some of the other stuff. But hey,
Yeah.
they're in, and now they got a chance to win games. So, all right. So the interview didn't give you anything, huh? There was nothing from the interview. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. So, yeah, so they do. That's what I was talking about. Louisiana. We have to. Sorry, we're moving at a fast speed here. We'll get back to that at some point. Easiest region. Easiest. Ooh. Well, that's a tough one. Like, I'm looking up and down. If you're mean by easiest, like, are we saying that in comparison of like who are the teams that have the easiest, like top seeds with the easiest path to the Final Four or something maybe? I don't love the West. I think the East. In all honesty, I may go the East. Let me go up and down the line here. Sorry,
What
this
was
is
the
just
question?
we're doing this on the fly. Easiest region.
Easiest.
To me, it's probably. I mean, I like Alabama's path. I think they have a really good path.
Yeah, boy, the bottom half of that South is brutal.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't say
you got Creighton with the healthy Kalkbrenner. You got Baylor. You got an underseeded Missouri. You got Arizona.
No. Yeah, well. Okay, chair. Here we go. So I got something on Twitter here. Now, some people are sending me messages on Twitter. Now I just got some other stuff. The chair says 6 to 7 teams were considered for number 1 seeds. Not a lot of info. Okay, well, I appreciate that, Bobby. If you're watching, poor Hunter still getting trolled on Twitter. Let's see. Let's see what else we have here. Okay. Sorry, guys. There's a lot. We know who my surprise Sweet 16 pick is. You're forgetting I can't pick them. So, like, I can't say that they're my surprise Sweet 16 pick because I can't pick them still. Can we do that now, though? I mean, they lost the game. So, can I flip that back?
You think they can get Arizona?
I mean, I don't love it.
If they're hot, sure. Why not, right?
I don't love it. I'll just be honest with you. I don't love it. Vanderbilt would be surprised, but yeah, that would be a surprise if Vanderbilt makes the Sweet 16.
That would be a big surprise at this point.
I'd be shocked by that one. Let's see. Definitely use the net. The net is flawed. How many times do we have to say it? It's a flawed system. If they're going by that, then that is what it is. So, most overseeded team, Chris. Who would you say would that be? Got to be an ACC team. Just kidding, ACC fans. I know you're all coming in to troll us, but it's fine. Whatever. Challenges next year.
Most overseeded team.
John thinks it could be Arkansas.
That would be on the short list.
No, you can't say that, Chris. You can't say that to our audience.
Well, there's good and there's what did you earn? And Arkansas, in my mind, did not earn an 8. Sorry.
Let me look at the seedings here. I'm trying to think. We were so focused on A&M. So if you're asking who the most underseeded team is, that's going to be my choice.
Yeah, that's easy. Most overseeded.
I don't know. I'd have to dig more into that one. Sam, I'm going to get to this one in a second. No, John says don't pick Arkansas. Okay, I won't. Or excuse me, don't pick Missouri. I won't.
I was a little bit overseeded, I thought. Although not horribly.
Well. Oh, is John only talking SEC teams? Okay. Well, we expanded the question. So as Barry,
most underseeded SEC team was I thought that Missouri and obviously A&M both deserved better.
Man, I'm just still processing the bracket. This is what live does. It allows you guys a forum here to discuss. But so Clark's got the Final Four. He's picking his Final Four here. You guys give me the updates on the CBS Cruise Final Four. Is Dickie V? Is he on ESPN yet? I have a feeling he's losing his mind. So, somebody's got Alabama and Gonzaga in the national championship with Gonzaga winning, I think. Sorry for the cough, folks. All right. There was another question. Oh, here it is. SEC team with the toughest draw. I mean, it's got to be the lowest seeded team. Mississippi State, maybe. But I said earlier, I don't hate that. I don't know, Chris. I'll give you that one. I gotta study this stuff. I know we're doing this on the fly, but I gotta.
I mean, A&M got a tough first 2 games.
I would, yeah, I don't
based on what it should have been.
I don't disagree with that at all. So I don't disagree with that at all. So, all right. These comments are coming in fast and furious. I need a drink. Do we have any beverages on display here now? I'm just kidding.
We should have done this at the Bearded Iris.
We should have done this at the Bearded Iris, and boy, that would not be good because who knows what I'd be saying at this point. Let's see. So, yeah, A&M's the number 18 team in the country in the 7th seed. That is true. Holy cow, A&M, man. Buzz's prepared statement last year must not have sat well with the committee. Must not have sat well. Missouri fans chiming in on Twitter. I know they're not happy with their seeding, but remember, I think the first round matchup's not the worst, but it's just Arizona I don't love. But I know some people are going to disagree with that, and that's fine. Where do you see a number 1 seed getting upset? I told you, Auburn and Houston to me is fascinating if Auburn beats Iowa. And I'm not just saying that to pander to the Auburn audience. I'm just being completely honest. Like
Memphis could beat Purdue on the right day.
I've seen Bruce Pearl in this tournament before. And yes, and I'll say, oh, look what happened last year. I get it, but I get it. I'm just saying Auburn playing in Birmingham, they would have brought fans regardless. But there's something to that, man. There really is. And so I think put that pressure on them. That can be something to look at. So,
yeah, I could see Kansas could have a hard time getting out of its half of
Can
the
Memphis
West.
beat Purdue? Maybe.
Sure. Memphis is an old team.
Arkansas gets hot, wants to get back to the Elite Eight on the Must Bus. Can they beat Kansas? Maybe.
Memphis can put some pressure on Purdue's guards.
Maybe. So Chris is coming in here down at the bottom here. I'm trying to keep up with the comments. I know we've missed some guys, but again, we're doing the best we can to keep up with these. Here we go. Kentucky. How far can Kentucky go? Well, the Cats.
So what Kentucky team shows up?
The Cats and the Cats can meet again. There's another storyline, right? When did Kansas and Kansas State or Kentucky and Kansas State meet? What was that? What was that, guys? Elite Eight? Final Four? No, it wasn't Final Four. Sweet 16 several years ago. I can't remember. How far can they go? Well, I like the draw against Providence. I mean, they got to be tough, though. I mean, Ed Cooley's teams are tough. Kansas State, I don't hate that necessarily.
Who's Kentucky get second round?
Kansas State.
Okay, who's the 2 seed at the East then in the bottom there?
Marquette.
Oh, Marquette. Okay, I had it written down incorrectly.
So, yeah. Riley's got Arkansas making the Sweet. Kentucky can. I mean, it depends on what Kentucky team you get, right? They could go far. I forgot to.
I think he's having a hard time motivating them. Sorry, I saw some interesting things in the tunnel before they went out for the second half of the Vandy game.
All right, guys. I know there's some people in here. I had a Twitter space scheduled at 6. We're gonna have to postpone that for now. We'll do that. I'll do that a little bit later. Okay. Arkansas could make the Sweet 16. Sure, they could. Chris chiming in saying that A&M got screwed. Well, you're not going to find disagreement here. Bearded Iris, yes. Go back and check out the live show we did at Bearded Iris if you want to check that out. If you see all the matchups for the 6 seeds, not one is better than Utah State. Okay. Sorry, I'm
the computers loved Utah State.
Well, the computers.
All of them.
loved a lot of other stuff.
Also love St. Mary's. They like the teams out west this year.
I gotta cancel this Twitter space, Chris. You're gonna have to talk for a second. I was supposed to do this at 6 o'clock. So please entertain the
If
audience.
you were just tuning in, SEC gets 8 teams in. Mississippi State will be the first to play. It is in Dayton. Alabama gets the number 1 overall seed. Auburn gets sent to Birmingham to play Iowa in the 8-9 matchup. Winner of that one getting Kansas. Vanderbilt did not get in. Let's see what else we got. Tennessee got a 4 seed and will play Louisiana. Missouri, we thought underseeded, getting a 7. It'll play Utah State. A&M got the hosing of the day in getting a 7 and drawing Penn State as its 11. That's another thing. I thought Penn State could have been a 10 or even a 9 easily. So not only did A&M get a bad seed, it got a team that it earned, I felt, better than an 11. And A&M will play Texas, presuming Texas beats Colgate. And who am I missing? Alabama got the 1 overall. I think I said that. If I didn't, there it is. Kentucky gets a 6 and plays Providence in Orlando. No, Greensboro, excuse me. And I think that's all of our SEC teams. Arkansas and Illinois, 8-9. I think that's the one I didn't mention just then.
All right. Let me get back to some of the comments here. All right. So if anyone's joining in thinking they were going to get into the Twitter space, we apologize, folks. We're not in the Twitter space. Or I'm not. I had one scheduled. Okay. Chris has got Mississippi State going. All right. Well, that could happen. I told you I thought that was possible.
Pitt's very beatable.
Arkansas fans have picked up a fan in Case here. He's going to root for them for the first time ever because they're playing Illinois. Makes sense. I don't hate Kentucky's draw. I really don't. But it's just which Kentucky team you get. So you don't know. There he is, Case. That's what I was looking for. 2018. Yeah, the Loyola year. The Must Nuts. The Must Bus. The Must Nuts. They're headed to Des Moines. So,
Have they set the TV schedule yet?
I don't agree with this. I do agree with this, Bernice. Sorry, I meant to say that. They probably have, Chris, but you and I are both trying to do a million things, and if one of us can coordinate the TV schedule, that'd be great. So, is this true, Chris? Missouri a 1.5-point underdog against Utah State?
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Well, the computers would have it that way.
Don't tell my man Dennis that because you're gonna be ready for a little payback. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. We have to break the matchup down more, and we have not done that yet. So we will do that over the next couple of days, and we'll give you our full thoughts. Let's see. Yeah, very surprised by the 8 seed. Yeah, so were we. We were surprised by that one. So what time will the games be? Yeah, we haven't. One of us needs to look that up. How do you feel about Alabama getting the number 1 overall? I think that was the right choice. I think they should have been the number 1 overall seed. So, yeah, Utah State is like 35 spots higher than KenPom, and the opening lines are set basically by KenPom. So, I mean, not by himself, but like that's just how it works. So, man, I don't know. I continue to have thoughts, but what we do know is the SEC did tie a record with 8 teams in the field. That actually tied for the most of any conference with the Big Ten. So there you go. 7 seed net rankings, 42, 41, 33, 19. Okay. So, all right, Chris, say something. I'm going to go look for some TV schedules, and we'll probably wrap this thing up soon. So,
yeah, let's see. Looking at this, the South, again, I thought that Alabama's path in its half of the South bracket could have been a lot worse, although Virginia's sitting down there at 4. You never want a team that's been there and won it and been to many tournaments and has experience and know-how doing that can grind your gears defensively. So that's the thing to watch out for if you're the Tide. The bottom half of that bracket, Missouri, Arizona State, to me, is going to be must-see TV if both those can win. Midwest, Auburn and Houston and Birmingham in the second round could just be phenomenal. You've got, in the bottom half of that bracket, A&M playing Penn State will be a dandy in the first game. The winner of that getting Texas, presuming Colgate does not pull an upset. Texas A&M in the second round could be tremendous. In the West, you've got, well, I would love to see Kansas, Arkansas. If Arkansas shows up to play, Blake, Arkansas could get to the second weekend, but counting on that at this point, God help you if you want to put money on that, because it just has not held up for long. Connecticut's a pretty good team too. I don't know that I'd want to be very excited about playing them, although it got a tough 13 in Iona. What if this is your Gonzaga? You know, UCLA, I kind of like UCLA in the West.
I like that Zags team right now.
Yeah.
Would not want to see them necessarily. Okay. Any other questions you guys have, let us know. We still got a good group of people in here, over 150 people. We appreciate you joining us. And also, if you're in here and you've not hit the subscribe button, don't forget to do that, because we will have this tournament covered for the SEC teams, hopefully as much as you see anywhere. We will have a lot of videos coming your way covering all these matchups and giving you insight into the opponents and all that good stuff. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button right now if you don't mind. That helps us out too. So if you can do that, that helps us. You can also leave a super chat that donates to the channel. Hit that little dollar sign down there, or the heart sign, whichever one it is. Give us a few bucks. That helps donate to the channel so we can make more videos for you guys. And yeah, we do really appreciate all the kind words like Kaylee here. Yeah, we enjoy doing this, and this is the most exciting time of the season. So be sure to continue to follow our stuff. And yes, Kaylee, we really appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, Utah State can shoot the ball. We said that earlier. That's Missouri defensively. We talked about rotations and those kind of things. That's yeah, I don't know. So John says, don't make me root for Arkansas. You may not have a choice. Yeah, for Missouri fans, it's like, do you want Arkansas or Illinois to win? What a choice that is, right? So what a choice. David, thoughts on the first four out? We said this earlier. I did not agree with it. I did not think. I thought Oklahoma State was fine for me. I thought they could have got in, but I was fine with them being the first team out. I can't say I was as pleased with North Carolina and Clemson being among the first four out. So, anyways, just my opinion. So, what's the Justin? Justin, part of our just means
Justin,
more
I think you'll probably be going somewhere else for your NIT coverage.
I disagree with that completely, Justin. We will have an NIT video. We did an NIT video last year. We will have an NIT video. Yes, we did. And if Chris doesn't want to do it, I'll do it myself. Okay.
No, I'll join.
We will have NIT coverage. It just may not be as extensive as the coverage of the NCAA tournament. So, yeah, Casey, got a tough choice on your hands here. Arkansas, Illinois, and then Kansas. Like, that is true. How about that? I just thought about that. I didn't put it all together, but you're right. That is the West is the ultimate Missouri hate club. Like Kansas, Arkansas, and Illinois.
I think they hate Kansas more than anybody, though. Right?
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, give me your hate power
Kansas
rankings,
chance the other night. So
give me your power rankings there. So, Stan says apparently what you do from January to March doesn't matter, or January to March doesn't matter.
Well, it does, but so do November and December. I bet I know where.
For A&M, it didn't. Apparently, I don't know.
Well, that's also true. And what you do in the middle of March does not matter unless it is winning your conference tournament. I think we have learned that now.
Joey Dwyer is going to be in the NIT beat. Joey's great. If you haven't followed Joey, I put out a tweet giving a shout out to Joey. Yeah, he's great. Let's see. How do you think? I think Bama will fare. Yeah, we talked about it. I said I would be way more surprised than not if Alabama is not in the Sweet 16, but that is a tricky second-round game. I love their matchup probably against Virginia or San Diego State or Charleston or Furman. I don't hate Alabama's path at all. I think the toughest challenge maybe for Bama in this part would be maybe a team like Baylor. And I'm not knocking Arizona, but like I think Baylor would actually maybe present the most challenges. But that's just me.
I thought Alabama looked terrific in Nashville.
Yeah,
and I was really impressed with the way it took care of A&M, because A&M's a veteran team, albeit a 7 seed.
Mm-hmm. Well, they are 7 seed, I heard. Boy, you should see the reactions to the tweet I put out about A&M. I said the NCAA hates A&M. There's no other answer. Some of the comments are just tremendous. Some are very reasonable, some are not, and that's fine. It's Twitter. What do you expect? But yeah. So Charles, yeah, I said that too. I like Mississippi State's path. If they can just get that first win, I don't hate the matchup at all with Iowa State. I wouldn't hate the matchup with Xavier. But like we talked about before, you and I have talked about this on Twitter. It's just what are you going to get out of them offensively? Defensively, I don't hate this matchup at all for Mississippi State. In all honesty, I'm not saying they can't lose. I mean, sure they could, but I don't hate the draw at all. So, I mean, I know there's a question about what happens if Brandon Miller gets injured. Well, I mean, you could ask that question probably about anybody. I mean, I'm not saying it's just. I mean, I think he's their best player. So, let's see what else we've got here. San Diego State will be easier to beat than West Virginia or Maryland. I don't disagree with that necessarily. I think Alabama's toughest game could come in game 2, in terms of and the path to the Elite Eight. I like their draw, but that's always a tough game when you get one of those 8-9 teams hot or something. So, all right, Chris, what else we got? And we can wrap it up here soon, because we've got to start breaking down the matchups actually instead of just trying to give our thoughts on the fly. So,
yeah, I got to do a lot of research. I don't have a lot of thoughts about who's going to do what until I usually need an overnight to digest that, and also to look at some other teams. I spent almost all of my basketball related energy watching the SEC. I mean, I did watch some other teams, but I need to do my homework on some other guys first.
Yep, I would agree with that. And yes, we have watched other teams this season. So if you're just coming in, you've never joined our channel before, you've never seen us before, yes, we cover SEC stuff, but we do our homework. We watch other teams, and we don't just watch the SEC. Chris has been doing a bracketology for a century now, I think. The spreadsheet is about as big as War and Peace, I believe. But it's getting there. So
did me no good.
Yeah, it didn't really.
Because the committee just does what it's going to do.
Committee does what it wants, and no one cares. So
honestly, I think next year what I will do is I will just quit paying attention.
Man, I am still
conference tournaments, except for who wins the championships, because they just do not seem to care.
Has Buzz said anything yet? I wonder. Has he commented on this? Buzz is not going to be happy. You think he'll read another statement? Maybe. I would if I were Buzz. I'd have another statement prepared. We appreciate you giving us the 7th seed. Now we're going to come out and kick your no. I'd love that. Give me some of that. Yeah, we'll see. But all right, guys, we probably are going to wrap it up. I know there's still a lot of people in here, but again, we want to be able to give you the best information, and we're trying to do it on the fly, and we can't really do that right now. So we need to break down the matchups, go into the film room, Chris, and really start looking at some of these games for the SEC teams and give you a better idea of what we think about all this. So I am going to probably hop on a Twitter space here shortly. So if you're on Twitter, you're following me on there. I'm going to chat on there for a few minutes with some people probably about the SEC draw and such. So I may. Don't log me into that yet. I'm not sure. I may try it. We'll see. But yes, we appreciate it, Nathan. Everybody else, if you've enjoyed this, again, help us out. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe. Yeah, the live reaction. I'm curious to go back. I want to see the A&M one. I know I got a little loud there, so I apologize if I screamed into you guys' ears. But I got a little loud on the A&M one. So yes, appreciate it, Harrison family. We appreciate you as always. A longtime follower of this Bearded Iris time. Yes, Head to the Bearded Iris. I know Justin's already picked up some specialty beverages, I believe, from Bearded Iris. So yeah. How does one find the Twitter space? Well, again, I don't want to say it's official yet. I'm going to try it, but Twitter spaces can be a total mess sometimes. But I'm going to give it a shot. Just follow me on Twitter at the Blake Lovell. My name up there. I don't even see it. My name. It'll be up there when it goes. At the THE Blake Lovell. So, yes, we appreciate you guys again. And remember, we're going to break down every game for SEC teams. So we will have videos for all the matchups. All 8 for SEC teams. We'll have videos for them. So a lot more stuff on the way, Chris. And you can wrap it up.
All right. We do have a lot more stuff on the way. I've got to run to start my research and maybe even get some fresh air for a minute. I've not been outside all day. We need to do that. But we've got there was allegedly baseball played this weekend. We got Blake, SEC conference play starts next weekend.
Well,
I wish it did not. I wish they would wait another week, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll get you covered on that.
Yeah.
We got all kinds of stuff going on. I'm doing this remotely from Mountain West Country. Where I'll be
maybe that's
be watching the games in Dayton from here. So be back at the Roost in time for Thursday and Friday though, and I can't wait for that. Used to, before I did this for a living, I used to take vacation days to watch the first 2 days of the tournament. I had 2 weeks of vacation. I would take 2 days to watch the Thursday and Friday games. That is how much I love this and how much I'm very excited about what's coming our way.
All right. Well, again, we appreciate you guys. And yes, Chris is on Twitter as well. He doesn't tweet as much as I do, so don't raise your expectations too much. At Chris Lee 70. So yes, Chris is on there as well. So don't expect a lot of tweets. If you see tweets, it's probably going to be directed at me. It's going to be something about a remark towards me in some way, shape, or form. So we'll see. All right,
Chris,
go ahead.
Your team losing the draft.
Yeah, well, I don't remember.
We did a head-to-head draft, and the public liked my team better than yours, as well it should have, because we do have smart followers on Twitter.
I don't recall that, so you guys have to find that yourselves. I really don't remember the draft at this point. All right, Chris, wrap up. I'm finished.
Yeah, we will have previews of all games involving SEC teams. I'm sure we'll give you our tournament picks when we have some time to make those. NIT coverage has been demanded, so you will get that. And baseball stuff, we may try to do power rankings tomorrow, Blake, if I can get prepared for that in time. And we'll do all kinds of stuff during the week. We'll probably have some live videos, maybe during the tournament games themselves. We will figure that out. But best way to catch all of our stuff is hit the subscribe button. We love you guys. We've had so much fun covering the basketball season and interacting with you guys. And again, we're going to do a lot more of these, a lot more stuff during the week. So again, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Blake, are we done? All right. He's Blake Lovell. I'm Chris Lee. We are Southeastern 14. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.